Hello everyone, we will continue the topic Web Dynpro ABAP and we are covering OTR as a part of translation methods. We understood the concept, we created two OTRs with the help of SOTR underscore edit transaction code. After that, we did the translation also for that OTR text. Now we need to use those OTRs into our Web Dynpro application. So what I will do, I will simply create a Web Dynpro application. I will not go for any logic into that Web Dynpro application. Just I will use a document number and creation date, and I will provide the text using the OTR. We will go for translation and we will see how OTR is behaving in our Web Dynpro application. Anyways, because you all know what is the logic, how to write a logic, our major target is if we have OTR text, how we can use in our Web Dynpro application. So what I will do, I'll simply go to SCAT transaction code and I will create a Web Dynpro application. So firstly, from the drop down, I will choose Web Dynpro component. I will choose Web Dynpro component. Suppose I will give some name. Suppose I will write Z sales. Suppose I will simply write demo on OTR. We'll simply go for this name. I will go for enter. I will simply create this Web Dynpro component. I will give the description. Suppose I will simply write sales order application using OTRs. Now you all know by default, yes, the window name is same as that of our Web Dynpro component, and we have the main view by default there. I will go for OK. Now I will save this as a local object. I will activate this Web Dynpro component. I'll just wait. Now I will activate this Web Dynpro component. Now I will simply go for view and I will create two label and two input field, one for the document number and one for the date. I will go to views. You all know you can design the layout through the view. I will go to change mode. The most preferable layout is matrix layout. So from the drop down, I'll just go for OK. From the drop down, I will choose matrix layout. Now I will simply go for save. Now I will create label input field, label input field. I will right click onto root UI element container, insert element. Suppose I'm simply writing sales underscore LBL. This is our label. I will create input field, insert element. Now I will write sales underscore in. This is our input field. I will bind these two. This label is for this input field. Now we will simply go for another label and another input field. Insert element. Now I will write, suppose date underscore LBL. This is our label. Now I will create another input field. Date underscore N. It is our input field. We will bind that this label is for this input field Firstly, I will take it as matrix head data so that I can see in the beginning of a new line. This label is for this input field, date underscore n. I will go for save. So I have two labels and two input fields. Now I will simply go for component controller. I will create a node and take two attribute, one for the document number, sales document number, one for the creation date. I will simply right click on the context, create node. Suppose name of the node is sales. I will take two attributes. Suppose first attribute will simply go for VBELN. What is the data element for VBELN? It is VBELN underscore VA. You all know, yes. Now we will go for second creation date. I will go for right click on the node, create attribute. I'll simply go for ERDAT. Data type is ERDAT. Data element is ERDAT. Now I will go to view, will simply drag and drop from the component controller to the view. I will go to context, will simply drag and drop this sales node. Now from the component controller, I'm dropping it to our view main. Done. Now I will bind. This is our input field. We will bind. Now I will simply go for down. Input field, we have the value property. We will bind with this VBELN and we will bind with ERDAT. ERDAT. Now I will go for save. You can see these labels, these sales document and created on, it is coming from data elements because this label is for this input field. This label is for this input field. Now for this input field, yes, what is the data element? VBELN underscore VA. What is the data element for this ERDAT? If I will go for our this data element VBELN and this, suppose I will go to VBAK table, VBELN underscore VA. So this sales document is coming from our data element. This created on is coming from data element ERDAT. Now I will simply activate. I'll firstly go to display mode. That is the best way so we can activate each and every part of the Dynpro component. Then we will come on to OTR. As of now, yes, labels are coming from data element. I will create a Dynpro application for this Dynpro component. Create Dynpro application. I will simply give the description demo on OTRs. Anyways, customer don't know what OTR is. Just for our learning purpose, I am giving this kind of description. I'll simply go for OK. I will save as a local object. Now we will simply run this Dynpro application. Test. I will go for allow. I'll simply log on. I will log in into English language, yes. Now you can see sales document and created all. Now this is coming from data elements. Now what customer is saying, customer want document number and date. What is one option? You can simply create new data elements, yes, or use those data elements which has the labels document number and the date. This is one provision. You can go for text symbols of assistance class. That is another provision. But do not go for hard coding, because if you will go for hard coding, you cannot translate that particular thing. But now our topic is OTR. It means we need to use OTR. We need to provide OTR for this document number. We need to provide OTR for this date. And this is extremely important question from the interviewers, because interviewer will check your knowledge. Yes, have you used OTR in your Dynpro component? They will simply ask. Suppose if you have a label, yes, how you can pass OTR into that particular property of the label. Yes, so I will simply click here. This is extremely important point. We will go for text property of the label. This is our text property of the label. Now how we will use that OTR text here. So you need to simply tell to that interviewer, you will use dollar, you will write OTR colon. If you will give the answer up to this level, interviewer understand that yes, you have worked on this particular concept. Yes, how you assign that OTR in the layout, yes, to the text property of that label. So we need to simply write dollar OTR colon, and after that we will simply provide the name of the alias. What is the name of alias? This is the name of the alias. Firstly, I'll go for document number. This is our document number. So this is the way how we can provide or how we can use OTR. Simply, you need to write dollar OTR colon and provide the name of the alias. Now, if I will simply go for save, it will change it to document number. Now you can see it is changed to document number. Same, we will come here. How we will provide the text here using the OTR, So I'll simply write dollar OTR colon. The simple answer you need to tell to interviewer dollar OTR colon name of the alias. What is the name of the alias? This is the name of the alias. Now, if I will simply go for save, it will change it to date. And in the projects, if you are working on Dynpro, widely used concept, because OTRs are always preferable because we can manage them independently. I will simply activate this Dynpro component. I will run this Dynpro application. I will simply go to test. I will go for allow. Now you can see document number and date. It is coming from OTR text. Yes, they are not hard coded. We are not going for data elements. We are not going for text symbols of assistance class. These are coming from OTRs. Now, same thing, if I want to go for German language, it will work in German also, because that is our major motto. That's why we are going for OTR. Now, I will simply log in into German language. You all know the logon language for German, DE. I will go for our Dynpro component. I will run. Z sales demo underscore OTR. I will run. I will simply go for test. Allow. Now you can see DE, it's German. I will log in into German. Now you can see document number datum. This is what we maintained into German language. So what is the full summary of this video? Again, important video. So what we did into this particular video, I created a new Pro component. In that Pro component, yes, I created two label, two input field. One for sales document number, one for date. Yes, we simply created the node has two attribute and we bind it. We are able to see the labels, but they are coming from data elements. Yes, but what customer is saying, customer now want document number and date. What is one option? You can create new data elements, provide the labels and use. Or if you have existing one, you can use second option. You can go for text symbols of assistance class and use. But now we are going for OTR. So how we can use OTR? How we can use a OTR with the text property of the label? Simple answer from the interview. Important question. You need to write $OTR colon and name of the alias. Any interviewer asks, yes, suppose if you have a label in Pro component, yes, and if you want to provide the text using OTR, how you can write? You need to give the answer $OTR colon, then you need to provide the name of the alias. After that, I logged in into German language and I showed you also that texts are translated. And because of translation only, we are not hard coding the labels. We are going for data elements. We are going for text symbols. Now we are covering OTR. So that's it in this video. Thank you.